Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon, not here with Geeky Sparkles in this video, but we're going to talk about DC Comics, the DCEU. We're going to talk about movies. We're going to talk about Blue Beetle getting its freaking teeth handed to it this weekend at the box office. Barbie actually beat it again, and then we're going to talk about, where have all the DC fans gone? Nobody knows. Nobody knows what happened to all the DC fans. I don't think there's going to be anything left for James Gunn to fix. I'm going to be completely honest. I don't think his Superman, from the sounds of it, is going to be a massive, massive hit. Superman origin stories, Superman movies have been done to death. We had a pretty decent Superman show, Superman and Lois, and I don't know how the public is going to react to that, right? So far, it just seems like Batman is what makes all the money. And we'll talk about the Blue Beetle getting its teeth handed to it week 2. We're going to talk about the Flash being the biggest bomb ever for Warner Brothers, and it's already on sale. So not only did they dump it on the Vudu a couple of weeks ago, it was pretty early. It's pretty quick to digital, but I just happened to notice it's only $12 this weekend. So they're trying to make some money back, I think, on it. Brand new movie, $12.99. You're not going to make your $300 million back, I don't think, selling a bunch of $12 downloads, Warner, but whatever. So before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. So they're trying to put a positive spin on this. Blue Beetle only dropped 61% in the second weekend. It's better than Shazam 2 and The Flash. But the box office is still not great. No, it's actually pretty bad because Barbie beat it again. Barbie and Gran Turismo beat it again. I forgot the Gran Turismo movie was a thing. Some people have seen it and they said it's actually pretty good. I didn't expect it to be good, but they said it's actually pretty good. So box office, Gran Turismo and Barbie lead unusual weekend as Sunday ticket prices slashed to $4. Trip to Cinema will be deeply discounted on August 27th in honor of the second annual Cinema Day. Yeah, they're bringing, I guess, a bunch of old movies back for that. But this last weekend, it's interesting. They said that Gran Turismo expanded into thousands of theaters on Friday after hosting 2 full weekends of sneak previews and several fan events. Neil Blomkamp, I always mess up his last name, District 9 guy, Blomkamp, did this one, which I did not know that he was the director. Gran Turismo has been set to launch on August 11th, but switched it up, and it's opening everywhere this weekend. Based on Friday traffic, early estimates show Gran Turismo opening in first place with 16.5 million. That's not great. But, I don't know what the expectations were for a movie like this, but that's not great. Including a hefty 3.9 million in grosses from the previous sneaks. Certainly not the first time that a Hollywood studio has added such grosses to an opening weekend number, but the early Gran Turismo screenings were far more robust than what is the norm. Yeah, usually late August, early September is kind of a really crappy place for a movie to be released. Put another way, Barbie would otherwise top the weekend chart. Barbie earned $15.7 million in its 6th weekend. Okay, 6th weekend. But the problem is that Blue Beetle came in 3rd place with 9.5 million to 10 million. That's not good. Oppenheimer is doing 8 million. Oppenheimer was kind of, I think, wasn't as fun, I guess, as Barbie, but I heard that it actually was the better of the 2 movies. I don't know. I haven't seen Barbie. I saw Oppenheimer. It was long and it was kind of depressing, but it was a thing that happened. But yeah, so this isn't good, right? We've got Blue Beetle coming in 3rd place, 60+ % decline. And we had this article out there a couple of days ago. Where have all the DC fans gone? Where have they all gone? After a string of bombs, Warner Brothers has to do more than make fans believe a man can fly. It has to make them believe that this time there's a willingness to see that flight to its destination. And part of the problem is already they're talking about bringing in actors and from the previous iteration of the DCEU. So it's going to be hard to make a clean break if Gal Gadot is still Wonder Woman and supposedly Margot Robbie is going to be Harley Quinn again. So it's like you're not really making a clean break. Like this is an all new, all different DCEU. It's like, no, it kind of is, but not really. It's more like a soft reboot. So 10 years after the DCEU launched, Henry Cavill's no longer Superman. Ben Affleck's not Batman. Zack Snyder is building universes at Netflix. Joss Whedon is persona non grata. And the guy who showed everyone just how successful the Guardians of the Galaxy could be, James Gunn, just wrapped up the Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy. Together, they're relaunching the DCU. And as for the DCEU, Blue Beetle is in theaters. Sadly, it seems very few people know it is. No, that's not true. They promote the hell out of it, just nobody wanted to see the movie. Is it the penultimate installment of the DCEU, paving the way for Aquaman 2 to bomb, I'm sure? Or is it the DCU's first entry? Few seem to know that answer. Gunn's perplexing comments that Blue Beetle is the first DCU character, but not the first DCU film. Blue Beetle's opening weekend, among the lowest in the franchise's history, comes after a string of box office bombs, including The Flash, Shazam 2, Black Adam, Wonder Woman 84, and The Suicide Squad, which James Gunn did. So this is what blows my mind about this. The Suicide Squad was pre-pandemic, I think, right? Was it pre-pandemic? And it was a bomb. So they put him in charge of DC. Now, I loved the Suicide Squad. I didn't watch it for a long time. I waited until it was on digital because I didn't like the first one. But I loved the Suicide Squad, and I loved Peacemaker. That being said, I'm still maintaining I cannot see James Gunn doing Superman. He is the last person that I could see doing Superman. You put him on Lobo, you put him on Guy Gardner, something like that. Yeah, okay. I can see that, but I cannot see him on Superman. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think it's going to work. I just don't think it's going to work. So it's a decade of constant indecision, executive musical chairs, overly aggressive critics, and overly aggressive fans. I don't know. It's left DC fandom a house divided. House divided. It's a swamp that even Swamp Thing would be hesitant to dip a mossy toe into. There are those who are optimistic about the DCU's future and eager for a reboot. There are those who are puzzled over what the DCU actually is. Same here. Given the mixed messaging behind some of the actors and projects, continuing like Suicide Squad spin-off series Peacemaker. It doesn't make sense. While most will not, there are those who lament that Snyder did not get to finish the saga as he envisioned it. There are others who have moved on, just as the director has. I would say most people have just moved on at this point. I think DC is different than Marvel in that, you know, if there isn't one big coherent storyline, there really doesn't have to be. Just make a series of very good standalone films. Joker was good. The Batman was okay. I think it was overrated. It was okay. It was all right. You know, but they both made bank. You know, do more of that. Just give us a couple of really good standalone movies. We don't have to go MCU. And as we've seen with the MCU, it doesn't work as a long-term strategy, right? It really doesn't, because you're basically requiring that people watch every single movie leading up to a big event, just like the comic books. If they're not interested in the character, even, you know, and what happens is people are like, this is too much of a time investment. Like, I just want to read Batman comics. I don't want to have to go see an Aquaman movie to understand what's up with Batman, you know, and that's kind of what's going on with these big event things. And they're going to run into the same trap that comic books, American comic books have, where they're requiring too much time from the audience and they're wasting too much time on things that they otherwise wouldn't watch, right? So everybody's like, where have the DC fans gone? They basically got sick of it. They got sick of it and they walked away. And this goes back to what they led with, that they have to let fans know there is a plan, because right now, DC is a massive disappointment. Now, I would say if it were me, if I were in charge, and I am not in charge, but if I were in charge, I'd be like, you know what? We're just going to do standalone Joker and Batman movies for now. And maybe in 5 or 10 years, we'll take another look at other characters. But obviously, the only ones performing at the box office are Batman and Batman-related movies. And just keep making those. And we'll sideline the other characters for now. Maybe introduce Superman or Flash or somebody else into a Batman movie later on. And I think that's what they're kind of sort of trying to do with the Flash movie. They wanted to, you know, play it up that, you know, 80s Batman was back, but the people just didn't care. They didn't care. You know, they just don't care. And DC is such a cluster. I mean, it is, between multiple TV shows, multiple timelines. You've got Batman movies running up against each other. cartoon shows that are in totally different continuities. It's all over the damn place. I just don't think anybody cares. I think they're done. And, I like James Gunn movies. I do, but I don't think he's the guy. I don't think he's the guy to pull this together. I really don't. I'm going to wrap this up. So there we go, guys. Blue Beetle, 3rd place. Massive drop off. This thing is a massive bomb, but not nearly as bad as the Flash. Of course, that was a lot more expensive. And it's just not working out. I'm going to wrap it up. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, and we'll talk later.